morning, good evening, good afternoon. How you guys doing, ignorant millennials? Welcome to the Ignorant Millennials YouTube channel. What's up? I'm your host, Kat. I'm not alone. I'm with Lance today, and we got a special guest. But we'll get into it a bit later. Before we get into it, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share the video. Don't forget to do that. And yeah, as well, thank you and shout out to you, our subscribers, our new subscribers. If you're watching this us for the last time, it's been real. We enjoyed you.
Don't do that. Please come back. Come back, though. Come back. Please.
Yeah, please come back. And yeah, and if you're new, trust me, you've missed out on like 40 other videos.
But
you might want to go and check them out. But before you do that, check this one out because we got the beautiful Lindiwe. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Yo, Kate didn't even want me to introduce myself, but okay.
Oh, but
He mentioned you. He did say Lance.
Like, I want to say something like...
Okay. Here's a
sorry,
stage.
Lance.
No one's going to know how I am. It's like, yo, we don't
You didn't want to know how you were last week.
You know? But it's fine.
How are you, Lance?
Kate, I'm really touched.
Really
Lindiwe,
touched.
how are you?
Touched by Yoni.
No, I haven't touched the Yoni yet.
Hey, I see what you did there.
But yeah, let's... But yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm okay, guys. How are you?
I'm awesome.
How are you?
I'm awesome. Like, it's so nice to be on someone else's YouTube channel.
You know, you people are saying how somebody else is. They don't know you. Not everybody knows. Introduce yourself.
Well, if you don't know me, where have you been? I'm Lindy_R. I'm an online contributor, a nude enthusiast.
Oh my word.
A YouTuber.
By the way,
hit that
we edited
subscribe
it.
button.
It's actually nude right now. What you're saying is we edited the video.
Do you want to see the angles?
Wow, okay.
Yeah, but that's me. Like, just an average baby who's trying to stir up the world a little bit.
Just a little?
Just a little bit.
Are you sure it's just a little bit?
I mean, everything's relative.
Fair enough.
What's the name of your YouTube channel?
Oh, sugar. Am I allowed to swear here?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Touch My Yoni.
Touch My Yoni,
Subscribe.
guys.
It's all about sex education. I'm trying to start conversations that need to be had. Continue conversations that are already being had. Yeah, hit that subscribe button. That notifications bell is going to be your lifesaver. Promise you.
So was the sugar substitute for shit? How cute. But yeah, let's get into it, Kat.
All right. So
give her the quick.
Oh yeah. There's a quick fire before we start, right?
Yeah.
But with him, it's already gonna be intense. Actually, wanna go straight down.
Come on,
because the
Kat.
quick fire is the question.
Everyone deserves a foreplay, man.
Everybody deserves a foreplay.
I love that. Everyone deserves foreplay. That's very important.
So
Oh, okay.
give it to her.
Give it to
When was the last time you gave foreplay?
What day is it today? Maybe 2 days ago?
Okay.
What's the weirdest thing you've done in the water?
In the water?
Underwater.
Underwater. I'm not really a water person. Like, I swam professionally. I was a captain of my swimming team. So I try and stay out of the water unless I'm showering. So unless you're counting like
The
shower.
The shower too.
I mean, obviously everyone's had shower sex. But yeah, I guess that would be it. I don't think that's weird.
That's not weird.
Yeah, no, I'm not a weird person then.
All right then.
Okay. When was the last time you had a bad experience and what was it?
Was I dated this guy who didn't know how to give head. He kind of like, you know, like when a cat is like drinking milk from a bowl, like.
Sorry, guys.
That's what he did. I even wrote an article on this. It's not even like,
Really?
I wrote a whole article like,
Yeah.
do you stay in the relationship to try and teach someone?
Yeah.
Or is that a no-go? Like, it was just a lot. I mean, lo and behold, he's my ex. But that wasn't the reason. But that was probably one of the like worst experiences. It put me off foreplay quite a bit.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Imagine. Okay, but Beamer, Benz or Bentley?
Benz.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Bentley's too flashy. BMW drivers are assholes.
Always been saying.
Benz, classy to the max.
But let's get onto it. Touch My Yoni.
Touch My Yoni.
How did you come up with that name?
So, actually, I always knew that I wanted to call it Yoni. You'll even see like in my Q&A, it says, welcome to Yoni, because that's what I was initially going to call it. And then when I did my second episode with Mariah Carey's Touch My Body, the song was just in the background, and I was like, actually, maybe I should just call it Touch My Yoni, because the play on words is a little bit more exciting. I won't even try and take full credit for like getting the name. It was a friend of mine who was like, why don't you call it Touch My Yoni? And I was like, hey, that's interesting, and here we are.
It is quite catchy. Oh, okay.
So a yoni is the ancient Sanskrit word for a vulva or a sacred space. So your vagina.
So touch your sacred space.
Yes, and I think sacred space is so fitting because my channel's not only about sex, but it's also about emotional well-being, mental well-being, everything. So from anything that could potentially affect your psyche to your physical, it gets touched on, but from a sexual point of view.
And what inspired you to start your channel?
So I've got really, really liberal parents, and I've got siblings, and we're all so different. Like, my older sister is very crude, sticks to the book, and she's got a little bit of an accent. She calls me Lindiwe. No, Lindiwe, you can't think of things like that. You know, it's just, and she's 10 years older than me. And then there's me, who's just like, in your face about everything, and I talk a lot, so I also I don't feel like I have any boundaries. I can tell strangers my complete life, but my sexual life too. Then there's my younger sister, who's also quite out there. She's like very sexually liberated, but she's a perfectionist. She got challenged to not lose her virginity until the age of 21. And she waited.
She waited?
People in general. So when she got to high school, they were like, psh, you seem pretty fast. You're never going to make it. It's a co-ed school. And she's like, bitches, let me show you. And obviously, leading up to not losing your virginity, there's a lot of temptation that comes your way. So she had to literally make sure that no matter what, she's not putting herself in certain situations. So it was a psychological battle more so than it was a physical one. But I completely admire her because lo and behold, 6 days after she turned 21, she was in it to win it. Like, and she's never had a boyfriend. So she also didn't want to associate sex with love.
Okay.
So she made sure that it's purely physical. But that can work against and for you in different situations. And then there's my brother. He's 10 years younger than me. I would say he's the boy version of me, but not to do with sex. Very like, I love my girlfriend. You guys shouldn't be talking to so many guys. Like, he's actually really judgmental. It's so crazy. And I'm like, how did two parents raise 4 different children the exact same ways, but our sexual views are so different? So I started doing research. What is it? Is it your environment? Is it your upbringing? Is it your mental psyche? Is it your trauma? Is it your lack of trauma? What is it? And that's where the channel came in. Let me document my research, and then it just expanded. People just started asking me questions, and I was like, there's so much to talk about.
Sure. Yeah. So it's not just like you know, sitting in the couch like, yeah, I want a YouTube channel. Well,
no,
she has
guys, the YouTube channel is not easy. It's scary.
Oh, trust me, we know.
It's scary. It's a lot of work.
We know, right?
It's too much. So yeah, it took me 3 years to actually start it. You know, I've got books, I've got documents, I've got articles on things that I've written that have never been published anywhere, because I write before I speak, because I feel like it's easier to also cite different references and stuff. And I want it to be as factual and as educational as possible, but it's not easy. You still just sweat.
I have a question. You're mentioning like your siblings and everything. Like, as a viewer, like right now, I'm like, geez, how is this person? Well, this person now sounds like they're 40. They have brothers that are 10 years younger.
Sisters 10 years
21,
older.
And I'm like, okay, how old are you?
So I am 29 this month, October.
Huh.
I mean, this isn't getting
By the time
aired
this
in October.
is,
Okay, so I will be 29 by the time
time.
this has been aired. Yeah, I'm a 1990 baby. I guess I came in at the right time for the shifting of life to happen. But yeah, I look younger than I actually am.
Yeah, you actually do.
I lost my virginity at 18. I would say, you know, in my school, there wasn't a lot of people who had lost their virginity. So there was like 4, and we could call them out, and we could say...
How would you know it's precisely like those, just 4?
Because those 4 were shunned upon. Like the moment, like I went to a Catholic school, I went to an all-girls school, and sex was not like you could make out with as many guys as you want, but the moment you are engaging in sex, it's like you're taking it too far. Don't do this. Oh my gosh. And because of that, everyone was just afraid to also indulge in it, because what was so wrong with it? What was so wrong with it that we're making other people feel wrong for doing it? So no one engaged. Or at least they didn't say they did. And then I went on VAC, and did you know, this is where my education comes in.
Let us hear it go.
That's when Durban, Mhlanga, Belito, that area, sells the most contraceptives in the year. In those 2 weeks, they sell more contraceptives than they do.
I think I am
the
needs
whole
to go
year.
there. I am needs to
But
go
that's
there.
also a good thing.
Yeah.
It's a reflection on you have a whole bunch of children, and I say children because
Snap, no.
17,
Sorry.
18-year-olds.
It's just children. You're not going there, guys.
Yeah, no, definitely don't.
You're not
you
going
little
there.
pedophiles. Like,
no, we're not going
no,
there.
no. But like you have a whole bunch of children who know, their parents know they're going to be engaging in sexual activity, so they give them the protection that's needed. But then you have to look at the amount of people that are going and how many are not using protection. And that those 2 weeks that people just bonking everywhere. And I managed to come out a virgin.
I
I left back a virgin. Thanks. But yeah, it didn't last too long. Yeah, I was 18.
Is based on like research. Is this your own personal research, or is it research from the internet as well, or is it a combination?
Oh, okay. I get your question. So I don't speak on anything that's not experiential. So right now I am teaching myself how to do anal. And this is because I really believe like I can't feel comfortable enough yet. I'm not with a partner or someone who's steady enough for us to slowly get into it. And anal, there's so much that comes with it. There's so much you have to do to train yourself to get there, and people don't understand that. They think it's just get the lube and stick it in, and it doesn't work like that. You can literally hurt yourself, you can damage your anal muscles, you can literally hurt yourself by doing things wrong. And I only know this because I've done it wrong. So I had to do a lot of research afterwards, because I was like, I can understand where the pleasure would come from, but how do I get to that point? Like, I don't watch porn because I don't think it's necessarily a good reference point for learning, but it is a good reference point for seeing what I should or could be doing, what else I could be doing. But everyone's experienced in anal and porn. So you think that's how you start, but you literally, there's so much that leads up to them getting to that point. So I'm hoping by 2020, January 2020, I would have had my first proper pleasurable anal experience.
That's just 3 months.
Lance, looks like you can't.
Yeah.
Like you want to squeeze yourself in.
Like, hey, I need to position myself.
So
in
we
there.
had a sex episode with Lance. So maybe he's the best candidate.
No way. So, wow, well.
So,
Our subscribers will attest to he's.
I just speak a lot.
Expertise.
When you
I
do
speak a
research,
lot?
me, I just like,
Oh,
I speak a
no,
lot.
but that's
Me,
the
I'm
thing. Like now, I know this is something I wanted to try. So I've done all the research on the internet. So as much as it's research based on the internet, it's also experiential.
Yeah.
And a lot of the episodes that I have spoken on, for example, like my episode on the best contraceptive to use, I spoke on the contraceptives that I have used that didn't work for
Which
me.
one is that?
It's called Is His Pull-Out Method 100%.
SS pull-out method.
It sounds like a.
Pull-out
Sounds like a
method.
porn video.
No, pull out.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
pull out.
You know, I
It's
have to
just pull
entice
out
the
method.
viewers. You know, you want to be like, what are you talking
Let me
about?
pull out.
Clickbait. Yeah. So I think it's
Does
just.
pull out work?
It's actually a proper contraceptive. It's
Oh.
under the contraceptive.
Khanmina, what are you thinking about?
Oh,
But it's
I
a
thought
part
she
of-
meant like pull out.
But it's part of family planning. Like, don't get me wrong. It's
Yeah.
not something you pop or whatever. Like, it's part of family planning.
So, yeah, so let's take it a bit back. So you're always naked maybe 90% of the time, be it Instagram or Twitter.
Like right now? Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. So,
This is an illusion.
so at what point did you like, you know what, I need to show the world who I am? And when did you become so confident to start, you know, I can do this?
You know what's crazy is that I've always been a naturally confident person. I think my parents like raised me and my siblings just very, be who you are, do what you want. But being nude was never part of the plan. And how I even started with the nudes was I went through a breakup. You know, it's always sucky how it, like these things start with a man.
Something switches in the head.
Went through a breakup and I started exercising. And then I thought, okay, it's better to see the progress in your body getting better naked as opposed to in clothes. So I started taking progress nudes, and that's literally how it started. Progress nudes. Initially it was once a week, and then eventually it became once a day because I was seeing so many changes. And I'm like, am I putting this in my head? Is it psychological? But the more I saw my body, the sexier I felt. And the more it motivated me to exercise. And then I was just like, one day, let me just be a daring bitch. And I put a very silhouette, like frame type, you couldn't even see my face. And I just put it on Twitter.
I think I saw that.
Everyone was like, oh my gosh, this is so beautiful. Who's the artist? And I was like, oh, y'all think there's a whole artist? And then I just said, let me be a little bit more daring. The more I put out, the more people appreciated. And I wasn't getting a lot of backlash, which is what I expected. But I think it was because I was feeling sexy and feeling so confident in the picture. The more I put it out there, the more confident I felt. So like it was a give and take. I still have like insecurities and things that I deal with. Even now, I put on weight, I lose weight, I feel too skinny, I feel like a 12-year-old boy versus, oh my gosh, I feel short and stubby. You know, there's things that I go through with my body, but I always feel sexy naked, no matter what. So I said, why don't I just document that and show everyone? And the more nudes I put out there, the more people started sending me their nudes. But it wasn't even
Both.
There was even guys who were like, it's so unfair how women can just put out sexy pictures and it's deemed as, you know, beautiful or art, but the moment a guy does it, he's perverse.
Yeah, no, there's nothing sexy about your penis.
It's like, why are we trying to see your penis? But that can also be, it can also be art. There's so many, look at what's the statue of David, you know? Like,
No, it's not that one.
Michael.
I mean, I don't really know this art stuff,
Yeah.
but there's one where he's completely naked and his body and his physique is so nice, but no one's sexualizing it. It's still art, but it's because it's a sculpture. But the moment it's a picture, it's like you're trying to be on a porno.
Yeah.
Like, but it shouldn't be that way. And nudity also shouldn't always be sexualized. Yes, there's an element of sex or sexualization that can come with nakedness, but we weren't always clothed. So how were people still feeling comfortable and feeling good and feeling like you're not an object back then? I feel like sometimes it's just us trying to actually take a few steps back. And unfortunately, you can be sexualized clothed now.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
in fact, we are, both men and women. So what more when you're naked? But I tried to put a twist on it to make it like not sexual. There's people who tell me they jerk off to my nudes. And all I can say is thank you, because I understand the climate in today's day and age, and I understand what I'm putting out there. So I'm not going to expect there to only be people who see it as art. I know exactly the different territories that it comes with, but I focus more on the positives. The girls who are saying, I don't feel sexy enough to send this to anyone else, but because you're putting it out there, I'm going to send it to you. And then you look for the most arbitrary thing that you find sexy. Don't say, oh girl, you banging. Say, oh my gosh, I love the skin tone that you have. Because now I'm not sexualizing you. Now I'm finding a quality in your nude that is beautiful. And more people just started sending me nudes.
For those who don't know, the nudes that you post, is it silhouette or is it full like Playboy nudes, like frontal nudes?
Well, Playboy again suggests sex because it's a porn magazine.
All right. Is it full frontal nudes?
It is full frontal, but at the same time, it's also very angles, hiding things, cute, putting writing over my nipples, but like, it's more only because I'm restricted as opposed to because I want to restrict myself. I am very comfortable with my body.
OnlyFans?
OnlyFans?
Have you heard of it?
I have. I want to start an OnlyFans page, but the problem with OnlyFans is that it's a business. And the moment something that I want to do on the random that when I feel sexy and I've just gotten out the shower, that's going to have to become my job. I'm going to have to say there's people who are subscribing every month, paying this amount, I have to put something out there, and then it's no longer authentic. Now I have to be like, oh, what am I going to do today? Oh, but I posed like that yesterday. I need a new back. Like there's too much that comes with it. Right now I'm doing it because I feel sexy in the moment. I can go 2 weeks without posting a nude. I can go a month without posting a nude. Or I can post a nude every single fucking day because I feel sexy. And I go through the motions. When I'm not feeling sexy, that's when I want to take nudes more, because I'm like, find something that's going to make you feel good about yourself. And being naked does that for me.
So, sorry, Kat. So, you said that, those guys who comment and say that they masturbate to your nudes. At what point did you start being okay? Because I can imagine the first time you saw it, it was like, okay.
No,
so
I'm
from
also
the
very
get-go,
self-aware. Like, I'm not stupid. I know, even with the things I say, I know the kinds of reactions I'm going to get. I would say that my emotional intelligence far surpasses my IQ. I'm not stupid, but I'm very emotionally intelligent. I can read people's energy without them even saying anything. So I know when you're looking at me as if I'm naked. I know when you're looking at my nudes, your mind is probably thinking this way. But I also know the people that aren't thinking that way. So I knew off the bat that this was the kind of reaction I was going to get. Sex and nudity is taboo, especially in such a conservative South Africa. So I knew exactly the kind of reaction I was going to get, and I still get scared. It's so crazy. When I put out a nude, sometimes I think, oh shit, Lindy, that's too much. Like, I delete so many different pictures because I'm like, that's too much vagina, or that's too, and I'm just like, but that was the picture that I wanted the most. That was the picture I felt comfortable with the most, but I didn't, because I'm thinking about what everyone else is possibly going to say. So I also have my limitations, but I feel like it's possible to get into a space where I'm completely free, where I'm just not caring. Because there's women who are doing it out there, but it's a psychological thing, and that's something I have to work on for myself.
So generally, when people see nudists and whatever, the general assumption is that you are very sexual, or say very sexually active, or if I see you, I can just go, hey, and whatever, and try my luck and whatever. And so, are you very sexual? And do you find guys just when they see they tap your ass or they're trying to do something?
So much harassment.
Yeah. Wow, this is the question that silences me. So I think
you're sure you're ready.
I don't think it matters how nude or not nude you are as a woman. If someone's gonna feel they have the right to touch you, they're gonna do it, whether it's man or woman. There was a time where I was emceeing at some gig and I looked damn hot. I mean, and I just, and I was exuding that. Like, I could have looked like absolute trash, but because I felt it, I was just, yes. And this girl was just so enthralled by me, and she kept touching me. And I felt so uncomfortable, because I'm like, as a woman, you can't think it's okay just because you're a woman to touch someone, one, a stranger, and to touch them sexually because they're giving off the vibes. Like, that's my confidence that you're trying to pull out, or so if I'm feeling sexy, I'm not expecting no man or woman to feel like they have the right to touch me, but they will. So that has nothing to do with my nudity. Some people don't even know that I have nudes. They'll meet me off the bat, and maybe my character or my energy is what compels them to wanting to touch me. And so I don't think the two are linked. However, I am Scorpio. I think there's certain characteristics of a sexually liberated Scorpio that a lot of other Scorpios will have, and nudity and confidence and sensualism is one of them. So maybe it is all connected, but there's also a lot of instances where they have nothing to do with each other, but people will do what they want regardless.
So the other question is, would you say you describe yourself as somebody who's highly sexually active or very normally sexually active?
I cannot for the life of me stand sex. I do a lot. I have a lot of the sex that I have for research purposes. And I know that sounds so wrong, considering like you shouldn't be putting yourselves in situations where you don't want whatever. I mean, I'm not going to lie and say I don't get aroused. I'm not going to lie and say I don't get turned on, but that's only in the moment. Prior to that, I can watch porn. I can be having a steamy conversation, but instead I'm calculating what I'm saying as opposed to just letting my body feel what I'm saying. So I don't get horny. I literally, I would just say that I'm not sexually active. Like I have sex, but it's not something that I, like when I'm doing it, I'm like, okay, what did I watch the other day that I said I wanted to try? Like trying to remember just to see how it feels. Like I get so shocked when I watch porn sometimes because I'm just like, wow, that's a lot, but I'm sure I could do that.
Yeah.
I'm so turned on by it that I feel like I want to experience that pleasure. It's because I want to kind of one-up myself.
So what you say you don't really get horny, right? So what gets you horny?
In the moment.
So in the moment.
Not even in the moment. You have to literally mentally mess with my mind because I'm like, I can be quite like manipulative or conniving in the way that I know how to say things to make you think a certain thing. Like I said, my EQ is out of this world. But if a guy can match that, that turns me on so much because I'm just like, oh, you can actually get on my level, like in a powerful way. Like, because I always feel like I've got the power when I'm the one who's able to wrap you around my little finger. But the moment I'm feeling like, oh my gosh, what do I say to this guy? Wow, how did he even know I was thinking that? I'm just like, okay, this is the person I'm going to keep speaking to because it's a continuous challenge. That's what will get me into the bedroom. So it's crazy how like people will think I'm coming into your DMs to tell you how beautiful you look. I get that and I appreciate that and I will say thank you every single time. But if you're coming to tell me, listen, I really think that with your episode on, the yoni massage, you could have given more on this because you just weren't real. And I'm just like, no, you didn't.
Then you can engage
Who
on that.
do you think you are? And the conversation I've spoken to people for years and years and years and never met them.
So
just from social media.
Do you make money from all of this?
I mean, so...
Knowing that you could make money if you don't make money.
I know I could make money. But the moment, like I said, the moment you put money on it, it becomes a job. So unless it's like the Sarah Langers of the world who are just continuing to live their lives and they're making money off that, I don't want to try and make money. If money comes of it, or people want to endorse the things that I'm doing, or people want to send me, like I always feel like making money can still be not spending money. So like if people want to send me free things that are saving me money that I use on a day-to-day basis, like I'm allergic to latex. So the moment I have to pay for skin condoms, that's more expensive than the average. But I also know it's imperative that I have my own condoms because everyone uses Durex, they use whatever, and those are condoms I can't use. But I also don't engage in like first-time sex or sex that I don't know with people. So it's always planned, it's always prepped, but I still need to purchase it. If someone's gonna give me those condoms or be a condom sponsor and here's your non-latex condoms, that's saving me money. So if I can continue with my life without doing anything different and making money off that, then cool. But the moment I have to now create a profile, make sure I'm posting every week, how many subscribers do I have, then...
So I think you can manage that. I mean, is this like if you're having a YouTube channel, although we know the YouTube algorithm works more into your favor if the more you release videos, but it doesn't mean that if you don't release videos every week, you will suddenly lose subscribers.
Granted, but it's the obligation from my side where I feel like you're paying, so let me give you. Already, okay, so I am kind of making money. Like, someone said, why don't you just charge people to be on your close friends list? Now, of the 5,000 subscribers that I have, and it's very little, 5,000 subscribers, on average I'll get like maybe 1,500 views on a story. And in that time, I'm able to map out who I want on a close friends list and who are the people I know, who are the people I interact with, who are the people I see on an everyday or outing basis, and then who are the strangers. Like they actually separate them on Instagram. So I said, okay, cool. Let's entice people. I'm giving my secrets away here. So I said, let's entice people and say that, like one guy, Randy, he was from the States. Like, a majority of my subscribers on YouTube are American, but there's also a few on Instagram that like filter through. And he was like, well, why don't you charge people to be on your close friends list? And I was just like, I mean, that's an idea. So considering I'm thinking about OnlyFans, let's start small. I started off at like 100 Rand per person, and so many people paid. I was just like, okay, cool. Why would you pay for something I was giving you for free in the first place? Like, you guys are dumb. But then I was like, okay, what's the basic marketing strategy? Entice them by making them think that someone else is doing something more than them. As of the 1st of September, it goes up by a certain amount. If you guys are interested, DM me. And now I'm like checking, this guy probably can pay more than 500 Rand. Let me charge him 500 Rand. This guy, shame, he's so sweet and he's been such a supporter. Let me just only charge him 100 Rand. I played around with people in my DMs and I made money. I can't even like say how much I made. But the funny thing is, the moment I said clearing it all out and only the people that have paid, and you're only paying 500 Rand once-off fee, the amount of people willing to pay that are so much less.
Okay. So, I admit, probably it's not always rosy, especially how Twitter is in South Africa. How do you deal with the negativity? Obviously, you already said you have a high IQ, but I'm sure there's some things people say that you feel like you need to explain. So how do you deal with the negativity?
And in answering that, please don't answer in relation to the recent video. We're going to talk about that recent video.
Okay.
Yeah, now you've put that video in my head. Like, I really wasn't thinking of my answer like that, but well done.
Okay.
At first, like I said off the bat, I knew I was going to get some negativity, but people can be really harsh. Like, people can really say some shit that, like, gets you thinking of things that you never even thought you had an insecurity on. But now I've learned to manage that. I think the one thing I can't manage is coming from my family. So some guy, like, people are always like, oh, your parents must be really proud. And I'm just like, actually they are. They give me links, they give me different, sources of things that I can read that's going to enhance my knowledge to assist in giving you guys information that you probably are not getting elsewhere. But then there's people who are coming to attack my family, like, your mother must be a slut like you.
Jesus.
Where do you bring, that's the stuff that gets to me. That's the stuff where I'm just like, what the hell? Because you actually don't even know. So I also try and like remove my family from like a lot of my social media. But then at the same time, I'm such an open person. Like I talk about myself a lot. I show you my life a lot. So why should I remove that? So now my parents and my family also expect the negativity. So they've kind of like armored themselves, and it's not so bad, it's not so terrible, but they anticipate that it could be. So we're all just armored. We're all just like, we know why you're doing it. We know the type of person that you are. I know why I'm doing it. And I also know that there's a lot of people who don't know who I am or the kind of person that I am. I'm a bitch.
Actually, it becomes weird when people just say random things like they know you.
Yeah, but also you open yourself up to that. Like, I also can't be stupid to think that people aren't going to have an opinion on the lifestyle that I live or the things that I do because I put it out there. So if I'm putting it out there, it's going to get judged.
True.
Okay. Somebody who's watching this video now is like, I know this face. I've seen her before. Wasn't she trending on Twitter?
She was not. She was not.
And
was she not?
And her and a group of friends, you guys did a video where you gave your opinion or critique, depending on how you look at it, in terms of YouTubers, let's say YouTubers,
I don't
right?
know if we can call it critique. Critique means you came back with a solution. We didn't come with a solution.
rating.
Okay,
we
so
were
you were
just
just
saying,
giving your own
just an
personal
opinion,
rating and so forth. And yeah, the world social media had you. They had all of you guys in terms of that.
They did.
What inspired you guys to like, hey, we're gonna put this thing out, and how did it come about?
You know, I think like the content in SA is very one tracked. Like everyone's doing the same thing as the other person, just in their own spin. But nothing was like boom in your face. Let's try something new. And a friend of mine, Valerie, came to me and she was like, I really want to do this. I've seen other Americans rating other YouTubers, so I want to try it. And then,
just to clear up, viewers, Valerie is not the Valerie that we have or had in our episodes.
Very much like that. Oh wow, she's gonna kill me for saying her surname so wrong.
You don't have to.
Yeah. But like, I think the fact that she came to me, it wasn't that she was coming to me because she thought I was spicy or because she thought I was gonna have more of an opinion than the other person. She came to me because I was another YouTuber that's her friend. And she said, this is the list of people that we're going to be rating. And keep in mind, I'm not a YouTube watcher. I look out to see what other YouTubers are speaking about, but from a sexual point of view. Not beauty, not makeup. That's not something that's an interest for me. But just because I don't fall into the same category doesn't mean that I can't say what I did or didn't like about something. So she gave me the list. I went and I watched, you know, a variety of videos from different people. Some I would watch their tutorials, and then others I'd watch their like vlogs to see maybe they have a little bit more personality in one than the other. And I'm just a blunt person, so I said it like I thought it was to me, and a lot of people took offense to that.
Yeah, no, look, man, the whole country was raged, if I can say, or just
yeah,
Twitter,
but
or
the whole
just
country,
Twitter. The whole country, just Twitter.
Our whole country, Twitter, knows how to be raged about everything from rape to abusers to, oh my gosh, you rated YouTubers. But like no one ever goes full force. Like I said, we like mediocrity.
I'm
Let's
sure
do
they've
things
already forgotten.
Definitely, but not so much. There's a lot of people who are taking everything that I say now with, oh yeah, but you were that girl.
I'm still that girl.
I'm still that girl. I'm not trying to take anything I said back.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that I actually stirred things up a bit based on my opinion, because now there's more content that's coming out that's more exciting. Like, use this back, and that's all that I think maybe we could be called critiques. Because if you're learning something from what we're saying, then it means we did our job. If I'm saying that your life is bland, and now you're using that as a living my bland life with my bland iPhone in bland Cape Town. Good on you, baby. Show us what it is that doesn't make you bland.
Yeah.
And that's all we were trying to get out of her or get out of them. But not only, or maybe that was me, let me speak for myself. But it was literally just, initially we didn't even have a criteria. It was just like, oh yeah, let's chat. And I said, no, guys, there needs to be, what are we rating them on? Do we feel we're relating to the content they're giving us? Are they bringing us exciting content? Are they consistent? And those are all things that are important. And just because I'm also pointing it out doesn't mean I'm perfect. I haven't posted a video in like 4 months. But but my subscribers are growing because the content is relevant and relatable.
Good on you, girl.
But you can judge me all you want. I want people to come and say, relatability trash, but you're not giving me solutions either.
Yeah.
So your comments are just like, for me, I'm just going to take it as you being a hater. But the moment you say, I think you could have done this like this, and I'm like, actually, you're right. There's a different market that I can tap into if I do things like this. Thank you for that feedback.
So on the back of all of that and that video going viral and everyone coming for you, have your subscribers grown? No,
I think it was a steady growth continuously. There was nothing, it didn't spike.
Okay.
But that's only because of the kind of content that I'm putting out there. Like I said, my subscribers are not South African. If anything, they're maybe the third tier of people that subscribe to me, but majority of them are American. And it makes me wonder, like in a country that's more liberal than the average, a first world country, you'd expect them to have more sources of information. But how are they filtering all the way to me in South Africa? And more of them are sharing it amongst their like other American counterparts. So for me, that's like that's not the market that I was targeting. I need to target the South Africans that aren't talking about sex because that's where the real problems are at. But it means that maybe there's problems outside too. Like if you're coming to my channel to get information and still coming back and giving me feedback and saying, wow, this actually makes sense. What are you learning in your own country? So it means that it's broader, it's beyond the mediocre South Africans.
Yeah. Wow, okay. Maybe we'll get some of our ignorant millennials to touch your yoni.
And I love that name, ignorant millennials. Like, it's so fitting.
Maybe we'll get them to touch your yoni then.
Maybe.
All right.
Any closing remarks?
I think it's actually quite a lot that I would have have to asked, but I think you will answer.
Same here.
You'll answer them in your YouTube videos as more and more people.
Or maybe we can collab more.
Look, you can have me back again. I love talking about things that get people mad.
Maybe we can have our own sex segment on IM. Who knows?
And you know what would be really cool? If I come and ask you guys as ignorant millennials from a man's perspective. Because there's so much that I know as a female.
Yeah.
And yes, I've got a lot of male friends, but none of them are really willing to speak on their sexual experiences or lack thereof. So I think it would be interesting. We can collaborate in that way.
True. They should look out for a new.
You've met or lack thereof.
They should look out for
Apparently.
a new topic on IM, right? D-Mac, what you think?
I'm ready.
He's ready, guys.
All right, guys, thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, share the video, and also subscribe to her channel.
Touch
her yoni, guys.
Like, subscribe, do everything. Follow on Instagram. It's
Lindy_R.
And thank you for joining us,
Yay,
Lindy.
Thank you, millennials.